Hey fellas, how's everybody been? I know I haven't put up a video in a while, a long while at this point. Stuff happens, blah blah blah, you know how it is. I have been playing some Magic off and on because I love the game and I'm not getting away from it. You know, mostly pre-releases because my current work schedule, like, I generally end up sleeping in on Friday night. I work nights and I sleep in Friday night, and quite frequently I sleep late enough that it's like, oh, look, I'm totally missing out on Friday Night Magic, so I'm not drafting, blah, blah, blah. This stuff happens, you know? On the plus side, I've been playing a lot of MechWarrior Online. I mean, a lot. It's a good game. I like it. If you're into the BattleTech franchise or the MechWarrior franchise, MechWarrior Online is pretty nice. Fair warning, the learning curve is pretty high overall. If you're not familiar with first-person... If you're not a fan of first-person shooters like I'm not, learning curve is huge. If you're not familiar with the BattleTech or MechWarrior franchise and how any of the and don't know what any of the customizations and whatnot do, the learning curve is going to be huge, even if you know first-person shooters. You know, if you know both, you're going to do okay. But whatevs. Magic the Gathering. Recently went to the M15 Prerelease. Yay. There's some interesting stuff going on. I have not looked at spoiler lists for anything because the last revision of Wizards of the Coast website looks horribad. I mean, it's just bad. I haven't even been active on the forums in months because it just looks like crap. And when it first came out, it was just such a royal PETA to use that I'm like, I'm not even going to play with this crap. I'm just not. I'm not. Yeah, exactly. So anyway. M15 pre-release. I decided to go with blue. Yeah, hunt with Guile. I made, Street Fighter-based jokes on that one. For those of you who don't know, there's a character in Street Fighter named Guile. Yeah, and his hair's way out of regs. It's a military thing, don't worry about it. Guile's Air Force, and he's got this ridiculous brush head haircut, and his hair is so ridiculously long it's out of regulations. There's, rules in the military for appearance, and he breaks them hard. But anyways, so I ended up with that. I've got some decent blue cards, but not enough worth running, in my opinion. So I'm like, okay, well, what's my next best color? It ended up being black, so I ran a bunch of black, and I'm like, I've got no freaking removal. So I splashed 3 mountains for a lightning strike and a pair of blast fire bolts. Lightning strike's nice. Blast fire bolt's kind of interesting. It's kind of sort of a fixed turn to slag. It costs more, but it's also an instant. So it's got that going for it. Also ran, because I'm running 3 colors here, I went with the Meteorite, both as a mana fixer, because it's possible to have cards. It's going to be possible to have cards in your hand that you can't cast because of color considerations, blah 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 blah. That Meteorite is nice because when it hits the board, it's 2 damage to target creature or player. From an artifact source, almost nothing has pro artifact or anything like that. So that's a nice thing right there, I got some decent blue. Master Predicaments won me at least one game. He's a 4/4 flyer for 5. When he deals combat damage to an opponent, you take a card from your hand and you make the opponent guess whether the mana cost is higher than 4 or not. Excuse me. And if he guesses wrong, you can then cast the card for free, which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Trickery type stuff. Hydro Surge is normally a subpar card, but hey, you know what? It's in there because I needed tricks. Void Snare, despite the fact that it's a sorcery, return target non-land perm to owner's hands, pretty nice. Return to Frog is a great little trick. Into the Void, despite the fact that it's a sorcery speed, the idea to bounce 2 permanents is pretty nice. Amphan Path Mage, he won me at least a game. Making stuff unblockable is nice. Mercurial Pretender is really nice. He was the pre-release card you were allowed to play with him. Yay! He's really nice. Julia Master Polymorphist, she straight up won me at game once, which was pretty sweet. She's 3 and a blue for a 2/2, 2 colors blue, tap and sack another creature you control. Reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a creature. The creature comes into play, and the revealed cards are put on the bottom of your deck in random order. Oh, well and good. And Crushed is a nice control card. It's pretty much the closest thing I've got to actual removal in here. Quickling's a 2/2 flyer. When it hits the board, sacrifice it unless you return another creature you control to owner's hand. It's not really bad, but yeah, you know. Frost Lakes is kind of nice. It's 3 mana for a 2/2. When it hits the board, target creature an opponent controls does not untap on his next turn. Just kind of nice. It's a nice little delaying thing. It's nice. 2/2 body built onto it. Yay! Black Cat. Cute little card. I like it. Gravedigger, he's pretty freaking awesome. Actually, what's really nice about the Mercurial Pretender is if you have a Gravedigger out, you can partner the Mercurial Pretender with it, and you can basically recur any creature in your graveyard, which is really, really nice. Unfortunately, I never pulled that one off. Best I managed to pull off with the Mercurial Pretender is copying the Paragon of Open Graves. 3 no black for a 2/2. Other black creatures you control get +1/+1. 2 colors black, tap another target black creature you control gains death touch on turn. But yeah, I mean, giving my other black creatures +2/+2, and these guys giving each other +1/+1 is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Child of Night, pretty nice. Overall, it's good workhorse common, 2/1 lifelinker. Zathrid Skyblade, I don't think I ever even drew it. 2/1 hexproof for 3 mana, and you can pay 4 mana until end of turn. It loses hexproof, gains first strike and death touch. That's nice. Carrion Crow, it's a 2/2 flyer that comes in tapped for 3 mana. It's alright. It's a good workhorse common. I like it. 2 Shadow Cloak Vampires. It's a 4/3 for 5. You can pay 2 life to get flying till end of turn. It's beef in the air. That's pretty solid overall. The life payment's a pain in the butt, talks, but other than that, not bad. As you may have noticed, this deck has like almost no early game. My first round of the pre-release, I went up against someone who was red and something else. I want to say red-white, to be perfectly honest, but don't quote me on that. But his deck was like all freaking weenies and whatnot. So me with no early game, he just ruffle stomped me hard. Second round, I managed to take my opponent down like best 2 out of 3. That was some grueling stuff, but this guy with the black champion dude and the M15 Path Mage, the 2 of them just like went a long way to winning games for me. They really did. And then round 3, I honestly did not deserve the wins that I got. Game 1, the decks just curved beautifully in game 1. Game 1 was like what was it? Turn 1 land, turn 2 Black Cat, turn 3 Carrion Crow, turn 4 Master Polymorphist, turn 5 I activate the Polymorphist, sack the Black Cat, made my opponent pitch a card, and top card of my deck was the Master of Predicaments, and I just proceeded to beat my opponent like a rented mule. It was not pretty. It wasn't pretty. And then game 2, he got land screwed. He could not draw lands to save his life. And yeah, I'm not going to say I really deserved those wins, not with the way those games unfolded, but they were wins, So I took them, and I ended up coming in 3rd place overall, got myself 3 booster packs. Yay! Just let me clear this. I'm not keen on how they redesigned the bottom of the card. It's the bottom edge. I'm not keen on that. Not 100% certain why they chose to do it quite the way they did, but they did. The Garrick the Slayer you get to play against thing, blah blah blah, was interesting. I saw like actually one person like do it up, but it's a nice little extra. I'll give them that. But that aside, whoop-de flippin' D. Also, speaking of nice stuff, I got a Sliver Hive out of my packs, and like totally useless for the deck, to be perfectly honest. But well, crap. I mean, I got a Sliver deck, so that's going in. It's a natural. You know what I'm saying? It's just going in. Other stuff. Pair of Ornithopters. Whoop-de flippin' D. Pretty much useless if you don't have a way to beef up their power, and I only had one card in my entire, well, not one, well, 3 cards in my entire card pool that could have done it, and they were in colors I weren't playing, so whatever. Other black, you know, Mind Rot, a single Mind Rot is, I mean, you play it at the right time, yeah, absolutely, it can be devastating, but unless you've got a lot of discard in your card pool, I wouldn't really touch it. The Zoff Shades were interesting, but I decided not to run them. They're a little on the expensive side. Rot Feaster Maggot's kind of interesting. Caustic Tar is kind of interesting. Blood Host, which is really interesting, but I just didn't feel I had what I needed to back him up. And a third Shadow Cloak Vampire. There's no reason to run 3 of those. Just none. Red, at one point during my first match, my opponent had a lot of artifacts, so I sideboarded in 2 Torch Fiends. I took out one of the 6-cost burn spell and like one of my black creatures, I think, and dropped him in. Came in kind of handy. Cone of Fire was actually disappointed that I couldn't justify running that, because it's like if you're splashing 3 red cards and it's just like you want all removal, that's not bad at all. I mean, you can get 2 or 3 guys with that, but with double red and the casting cost, I just could not be guaranteed to be able to pull it off frequently enough to bother with it, you know. Rummaging Goblin's a nice little reprint. Circle of Flame is a cute little reprint. Goblin Kaboomist looks really interesting. If you can give him like Indestructible or beat his toughness somehow, he'd be really good. I like him. Rough Riders are nice little reprints, pretty solid get dudes. Foundry Street Denizen I've never really been fond of. Clear Path, who cares? Staff of the Flame Magus, who cares? Extra Blue, Staff of the Mind Magus, who cares? Coral Barrier was interesting, I was tempted to run it. It's a 2 and a blue for a 1/3 defender that when it hits the board you get a 1/1 token creature with Island Walk. That's actually pretty saucy. I like it, but I just couldn't justify running it. Maybe I should have. Glacial Crasher is a 5/5 trample for 6 that you can only attack if there are mountains on the battlefield. In retrospect, maybe I should have run him, because I was splashing red anyway. Why the hell not, you know? Of course, on the other hand, I was also disappointed that I got 2 of him and a foil 1 of him. Like, what am I going to do with a foil 1 of him? Fugitive Wizard is a really disappointing reprint. It's a 1/1 for 1 with totally crappy tribal at this point in time. So unless they do something with human or wizard tribal in the upcoming block, it's crap. It's just crap. Diffusion Sliver is interesting. I kind of like it. It's not Crystalline Sliver by any stretch of the imagination, but it's actually kind of nice. I like it. The art's pretty good. No, it's not traditional Sliver art. You know, I'm not going to get my ass in a knot over that, though. I will say they probably should have stayed with traditional Sliver art, but Diffusion Sliver still looks nice. Mind Sculpt, it was the only mill card in my card pool. There's no point in running it. A couple of Negates, I just couldn't justify running those. White, I had like a removal card, a flyer, a good pump aura, a really nice flyer, a 3/1 weenie, and after that it was just all chaff. It was just all junk after that, you know? I mean, a couple of nice cards there, but not enough to make it worth running as a secondary color, so it wasn't going to take black's place. Or for that matter, couldn't even take blue's place either. And it just didn't have enough removal to make it worth like ignoring that 3-card red splash, you know. So it's just no. I couldn't do it. A green had some interesting stuff in it. I mean, we've got the Shaman of Spring is okay. It's nothing spectacular by itself. Feller Incarnation is interesting. A trio of 3/3s for 9, maybe less. Hornet Queen's interesting. I like her, but I just triple green. Like, really? Invasive Species is interesting. It's a 3/3 for 3. When it hits the board, return another permanent you control to your to owner's hand. Like, say, for example, something that'll draw you a card. So that's kind of nice. Back to Nature. It's an instant speed Tranquility. I mean, okay, sure. Destroy all enchantments. Bam. Vine Weft, I ended up with 2 of those. It's not actually a bad card. I kind of like it. It's definitely draft and sealed playable. So it's not bad. Just straight up not bad. Siege Worm is fun to see reprinted. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, Fog variant, Green Paragon, blah 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 blah, and a bunch of pretty much stuff that we all know Green gets to do. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it was all right. I had a good time. Got some cards. Yay, cards! I'm an addict. I know it. People have made jokes before about the addictive additives in the ink and whatnot, blah blah blah. So, but what am I gonna do now? Thump. Alright. So I'm gonna see about opening these booster packs that I want. Yay, booster packs! Yay, booster pack, because it rhymes with rooster crack. Don't ask me. I don't know either. What do we see here? Welcome turn, who cares? Oh, nice! Foil Lenoir Wastes. I'm not going to complain. Court of Calling, X green, convoke. Search your library for a creature card with cost X or less. Put it into the battlefield, shuffle. That's not bad either. That's pretty good. Light, Gravedigger. Juggernaut! It's Jugs! Come on, you know you love Jugs. We all love Jugs. And nothing super exciting in the comments. Not that I expect anything super exciting in the comments. They're comments, you know? Oh wow, that's an interesting. I haven't seen this one before. Miner's Bane. It's 6 mana for a 6/3 with a really expensive version of Fire Breathing that gives it trample. So that's actually kind of nice. I like that. Oh wow! Hey, look at that new version of Obnix. Obnixilis Unshackled 4/4 Flying Trample for 6. Whenever the opponent searches his or her library, that player sacks a creature and loses 10 life. Whenever another creature dies, put +1/+1 counter on Obnix. It's interesting. As I seem to recall in the lore of the game, Obnixilis' backstory is that he was a planeswalker that somehow or another got transformed or combined with a demon, and he can't planeswalk anymore. I suppose that would make you pretty pissed. This is Expedition is okay. I do like the references to Zendikar, Into the Void. Hot Soup? What? What is this? Hot Soup. 1 colorless equipped creature can't be blocked. Whenever equipped creature is dealt damage, destroy it. Equips for 3. That's just bizarre. Statute of Denial is kind of interesting. Counter target spell if you control a blue creature, draw and discard. It would be better if it said if you control a blue creature you may, but whatever. Oh, Raise the Alarm, that's a nice reprint. What are you? Sacrifice it, add 2 close to your mana, pull that mana spent on the creature spell, it gains haste. Interesting. That's the Generator Servant. It's kind of interesting. I mean, you know, it's like, it's alright. I mean, for a common, it's not bad. It's just not bad. It's not super, but it's not bad, you know. I don't think anything's gonna really compare to what I got in that first pack either. It's just like, oh, okay, foil black-green Painlands, and a green creature tutor sliver token, swap. Scuttling Doom Engine. Oh dear, can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. When it dies, deals 6 damage target opponent. 6 mana for a 6/6. That's not bad. Wall of Limbs. That looks vaguely familiar. It's interesting. First response. Beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life last turn, put a 1/1 white siege soldier token. That's actually not as good as it used to be, because I'd be like, you know what? If Mana Burn was still a thing, I would absolutely play that in any kind of a freaking deck that has like a slow life gain mechanic, and just like ping myself for 1 with Mana Burn and every turn and get dudes. It's like, screw you all. Ensoul Artifact. Enchant Artifact is a creature with power and toughness 5/5 in addition to other types. That's actually pretty interesting. I like it. Netcaster Spider, interesting. You know, Evolving Wilds reprint, always nice. Eternal Thirst. Lifelink, and whenever creature an opponent controls dies, put +1/+1 counter on this. It's not bad, actually. That's, no. For 2 mana, no, that's actually pretty solidly okay. Especially if you have some removal or something. A Cursed Spirit, it's an Intimidator. Yeah, okay. So, some interesting stuff in the prize packs. I have no idea what that foil Landlord Wastes goes for, but that's a nice thing to see, you know. For those wondering, yes, you know, I do play a lot of, so I'm going to try and get back to doing this stuff now, you know, putting up the videos for the draft and whatnot. Maybe I'll try to get back onto the Wizards message boards and whatnot, you know, I don't know. MechWarrior Online, I played a lot. My username on MechWarrior Online is the same as it is in the Wizards message boards, SFESCEF. I also have a Twitch account where I primarily stream MechWarrior Online, and usually in early morning hours on weekdays, early morning East Coast time. So, you know, there's that too. So, I'll try to put a link to that in the video description or something, just in case you're curious to like my live stream, blah blah blah, yakety schmacky. And I'll catch you guys later. Be good, stay safe, happy gaming.